Ready to go, Madam Chair.
Okay, just a quick roll call again. Mr. Stembridge,
Present.
Mr. Valencia. Okay, Mr. Langham,
Present.
Ms. Wewell,
Present.
Mr. Collins,
Present.
Mr. Aiken,
Here.
Mr. Valencia, I see him, he's on mute.
Sure.
Okay, good. Javier, would you like me to wait or proceed?
We can proceed. I think you just,
All right, perfect timing, great. I will turn the floor over to Mr. Stembridge.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Starting now, the hearing is scheduled for 11 a.m. The first being case.
any requests or for,
I'm sorry, before I do that, are there any requests for withdrawals or deferrals from the 11 a.m. time frame?
Hi, Juan, are you looking for deferral? I just unmuted you.
Hearing none, then
yes.
we'll return to case BOA 1494933 with the address of 260 Newbury Street. Is the applicant and/or their representative present to explain the request?
Yes,
Yeah.
Attorney Jay Eigerman on from Reuben, Junius and Rose for the applicant.
Great, can you proceed?
Oh, yes, thank you. So these are originally built as 3 row houses on Newbury Street in the retail area between Fairfield and Gloucester. It's being converted to office and retail use. There are 2 forms of zoning relief required, and we were actually before you before COVID and obtained the groundwater control overlay district conditional use permit, but it lapsed. So the first form is there is an existing parking lot. There's a public alley behind the property, and as you can see from the aerial, customarily everybody on the block has parking, but the existing condition for us is 12 double-stacked tandem spaces. It's not really striped properly. It's not code compliant. So we're applying for a conditional use permit to reduce that to 5 code compliant, including 1 accessible space. I think if you go to the next slide, it'll show, I'll go 1 more, please. Yeah, there you are. So there'll be 5 and 1 handicapped as well. And this is much more modernized and rational. The next form, next slide please, of zoning relief is the groundwater. We have the no harm letter, site utility plan, letter from BWSC. Everything is compliant there. So there isn't really much more to say about the project, but I'm available to answer any questions.
Of course. Any questions from the board? All right, with that, may I have public testimony?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Maggie Van Scoy of the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, our office would like to defer to the judgment of the board. We held an abutters meeting for this case on September 5th. No abutters were present, no concerns were raised. This applicant also met with the Neighborhood Association of Back Bay and has contacted the Back Bay Association. Our office is unaware of any concerns at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands.
Okay, with that, may I have a motion?
I will make a motion to approve with the provisos that plans are submitted to the Boston Landmarks Commission for design review, and plans shall be reviewed and approved by Boston Water and Sewer Commission due to its location within the G-code.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stembridge,
Yeah.
Mr. Valencia,
Yes.
Mr. Langham,
Yes.
Ms. Wewell,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Aiken.
Yes.
Chair also votes yes, motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next, we have 2 companion cases. The first being case BOA 128. I'm sorry.
These next four are read together.
Oh, actually, the next four are companion cases. That being case BOA 1289178 with the address of 40 B Street. Next, we have case BOA 1521943 with the address also being 40 B Street. Along with that, we have case BOA 1521939 with the address of 55 West 5th Street. And along with those, we have case BOA 1521976, 1521976 with the address also of 55 West 5th Street. Is the applicant and with the representative present to explain the request?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Mark Lacasse Law, 75 Arlington Street in Boston, attorney for the project proponent, who is Joe Hassel, and Joe joins us as well on the hearing today. 40B Street is phase 2 of the second series of cases that are before you for matters that I'll get to. 55 West 5th Street, which was approved by this board in 2017 as a 50-unit building, has been fully constructed and is fully occupied and exists at 55 West 5th Street. Phase 2 of that project is known as 40B Street, also known as 34B Street, and is currently an 8,000, stop right here, this slide is great. The proposed project is shown there in the middle. It is a 8,000 square foot lot, which is currently vacant and has always been conceived as phase 2 of this project. This lot was originally an 18,000 square foot lot as part of the construction of 55 West 5th. The lot was subdivided into 2 parcels, 10,000 square feet on the corner lot and 8,000 square feet on the lot for the proposed project. And all of the designs and approvals have always contemplated these two as sister buildings, if you will. The most recent 34B Street, also known as 40B Street, was an Article 80 small project review project reviewed by the BPDA and approved by the Board of Directors of the BPDA on June 15, 2023. And I submitted the Article 80 Board Memo of Approval as part of the record for this case. The proposal is a 6-story building of 41,800 square feet containing 45 units, 8 of which are designated as inclusionary development policy units, which is 17%, and an underground parking area containing 22 parking spaces, which is roughly a 0.5 ratio, and also 45 bicycle parking spaces. The zoning for this particular area along B Street is the old underlying code zoning. It's not South Boston Article 68 zoning. However, in December of 2016, the BPDA approved a comprehensive plan known as Plan.av, shorthand, and this part of B Street between Broadway and Dorchester Ave is encompassed within Plan.av. And throughout the approvals of both 55 West 5th and 40B Street, we were encouraged to and coached to do everything in accordance with the plan. So both the existing building and the proposed building are all in accordance with the planning principles articulated in the plan, which did not actually become zoning, but governs this neighborhood, and there's been a lot of development that has been done in this neighborhood pursuant to Plan.av. Just one excerpt from the BPDA board memo that I think encapsulates the planning principles underlying this project. Plan.av designates this area as primarily residential with limited ground floor retail. This area is designated as Use Zone 3 in the plan and is intended to serve as a transition zone between South Boston's residential neighborhood and the higher density mixed-use areas along Dorchester Ave. This project complies with the height, use, and lot coverage requirements established in the plan, as well as the urban design guidelines. one of the items that was a condition of the approval of 55 West 5th is that the contemplated phase 2 of the building, 40 B Street, would share the garage entrance to minimize the number of openings along B Street. So you'll see here that there is an existing garage entrance for 55 West 5th Street, and the proposal is to make that the joint entrance for both buildings, which leads to the request for the building code relief. Because the buildings are separate buildings, ordinarily that would require firewall separation between the buildings, but by creating the opening between the two buildings, that triggered additional review at ISD and the Boston Fire Department for this proposed joint opening. The requirement is that the buildings will have a joint fire alarm system, and that the firewall at the garage opening will have a 3-hour rated fire shutter that would close in the event of a fire in one or the other building. A further condition is that the opening not exceed 156 square feet, which it does not, and that the opening between the buildings will be reconstructed as a firewall. And that is what the plans show for both the 40 B Street development and the 55 West 5th Street development. The two companion cases for 55 West 5th Street are essentially mirror images as it relates to the garage opening. No other changes to 55 West 5th Street as it's a completed project. There is one item of zoning relief for that, which is because the driveway is serving another property, it's considered an ancillary driveway, so that requires zoning relief. And the building code relief is identical for both buildings, and that relates to the firewall between the two properties. That concludes the presentation. If you have any questions, I would be happy to take those.
Great, thank you, Mr. Ocasio. Any questions from the board? Is the BPDA, is the project manager available to speak?
Tyler Ross is on.
Tyler just sent a request to make you a panelist. You could just accept that, or I can unmute you, whichever is easier. Go ahead. As a panelist, you just have to unmute yourself again. We can't hear you if you're talking.
I can't see him either. Why don't, Mr. Newman, why don't you proceed?
Certainly, thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information. This went through an extensive community process over the course of several years, with the most recent public meeting being back in June 5th, it would appear. They were approved by the BPDA board. Our office is unaware of any concerns, as I understand it, at this time. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thanks, Connor. Hi, this is Tyler Ross, BPDA. This was project manager for this project. The BPDA recommends, the ZBA approve this project. We had 3 public meetings, one in August 2021, one in March 2022, and one in August 2023. All were well attended and advertised in the local newspaper. The proponent worked with elected officials from the South Boston delegation to ease concerns regarding parking, and also worked with community members, and our BPDA staff with concerns regarding design, and so we are supportive of this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I have no additional raised hands, sorry.
I see Ms. Calderon.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support based on good community process and good faith compromises on both sides to improve quality of life issues. The proponent showed a willingness to work with the community to increase the parking ratio due to existing parking crisis in South Boston, and in tandem with the last iteration of their project next door that had a nearly 1-to-1 parking ratio. The project will also include 9 affordable units to help working families remain in the city of Boston. Council President Flynn requests that the proponent continue to work closely with the neighbors on any quality of life issues during the construction phase. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Calderon. Any other raised hands?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Paul Sullivan for City Council at large, Michael Flaherty. Echoing the sentiments of Council President Flynn's office, council to go on record in support.
Don't see any additional raised hands.
Okay, with that, may I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve?
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge. I'm
Madam
sorry?
Chair, sorry.
Yes.
Could we just make clear that the motion relates to both the zoning code and building code relief? I always like to keep the record abundantly clear on that point.
Mr. Aiken, would you like to modify?
Yeah, we'll make clear that the motion applies to all 4 of these companion cases.
Thank you so much.
Motion to approve.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge.
Yes.
Mr. Valencia.
Yes.
Mr. Langham.
Yes.
Ms. Wewell.
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Support.
Where'd Mr. Collins go?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Aiken.
Yes.
Chair also votes yes, motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you, members of the board.
Okay, and it looks like we have to take another break until the 11:30s. So I'll see you then.
Yes, Madam Chair, and just a reminder, I think we have translators for the 11:30 first hearing.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we are on schedule, so no problem there.
Recording stopped.